Hey everybody, welcome back. It's just Sal.
Ethan. And I'm Ben.
Today I thought we'd talk about Teen Titans from Earth 1. We've talked about Earth 1 before on this channel.
Yeah.
On this particular show, we've covered Superman of Earth 1 and Batman of Earth 1.
Yeah.
Both of them are obviously movie treatments, and so's this.
Well,
that being said, it's interesting because the Teen Titans... Okay, so we've talked about the Teen Titans a little bit. We did the Judas Contract a while back.
Yes, we did.
From like 1986, and it's very different, complicated, and has a lot of history.
Fuck that bitch.
This, no history, because it's Earth 1. Came out in 2014.
This is the start.
Yeah. It's written by Jeff Lemire with art by Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson did the inks, along with Cam Smith. This is the launching point for the Teen Titans. It's weird that they chose to start with this, because okay, Earth 1 is originally that's like what they used to call like where like
everyone was.
Yeah, and then after Crisis and stuff, and after New 52, they're like no. The Earth you're reading about for Batman and Superman and everything, that's Earth 0.
Oh, I thought that was Earth Prime. Which one's Earth
In
Prime?
Marvel, it's Earth Prime.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Or rather, it's Prime Earth.
Prime Earth.
DC does have their own Earth Prime, but they've done away with most of it and just said, like, there's 52 Earths, and the one that everyone cares about is Earth 0, where everything matters.
Wait.
Okay.
Do they still have an Earth 52 then? Wouldn't that make 53 Earths if you include Earth 0?
Oh.
Maybe there is no 52. Maybe 51 is the last.
There's a lot. And it's complicated because there's also now like a dark multiverse. So there's like Earth negative 52.
Well, everything has to have a counterbalance, you see.
Kind of. It's not like they take like, oh, Earth 27 is a cowboy universe, and there's an evil cowboy universe, and Earth negative. No.
No, that's the Indian universe.
And there's like a cops universe and a robbers universe. That's the reference he's making. He's not being offensive to everybody.
Yeah.
So
I am, but like
not on purpose.
In a jokingly
He's a good guy. Teen Titans is complicated because it's all, for the most part, like the Teen Titans has always been predicated on the fact that they are sidekicks. It's a team of sidekicks.
Other heroes
Yes.
who then have to exist.
Mm-hmm. So Teen Titans Earth 1 by Jeff Lemire throws that concept out the window and basically just creates a teenage team. So we're basically getting a Gen 13 or a Gen X book.
Okay.
that works because also like who was Beast Boy's
Counterpart,
mentor?
he didn't have one.
Yeah.
Because Beast Boy was a member of Doom Patrol.
How about Raven?
Raven, same deal.
How
wasn't on
about
Doom Patrol.
Starfire?
Starfire, another character. See, like that's how our Cyborg has no counterpart as well. So it's just all the characters that don't have sidekick or superhero equivalents. So like
Robin was the only person who's
Robin,
like, I had a mentor.
no.
So they don't put Robin in this.
No Robin.
Okay.
No
Robin's
Wonder
not
Girl.
in this?
No.
Hey,
There's no
all right.
Robin. I mean, look, Batman is so ineffectual. He's basically the Robin of the Earth universe. So
We can't have a Robin yet. We barely have Batman.
exactly, he's barely succeeded in anything yet.
Yeah.
So the story opens, and we're seeing things through the eyes of Starfire, the alien member, Tamaranian member of the future Teen Titans.
I mean, a Tamaranian is an alien.
Yeah. And we're basically just watching her origin story, where she was part of a like doomed rocket ship. Like she and her mother and father are in this rocket ship. Things are messed up. There's blood everywhere. Someone's crying. It crashes on a beach on Earth, and she's met by like a team of research scientists and stuff who discover her and her mom and dad. Her dad is dead from wounds he didn't sustain in the crash, and mom is just barely alive, you know, to like keep her daughter safe until the humans take her away and keep her in a lab for the next 16 years. She's just Area 51'd. It's really sad.
Yeah.
But we meet basically this cast of characters who are all part of a clandestine group called Star Labs, which is a connection to the DC pantheon, where like there's this lab, Star Labs, and they make like crazy super science and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're neither good nor bad, and it's, you know,
They're more interested in the advancement of science and technology.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And the human race.
studying
aliens without the permission. But one of them refers to one of the guys by the name Slade. And you're like, oh, because Earth One
I don't know
is...
what that means.
Well, yeah, and this book is for you because you don't know who anybody is in this book. But also, if you do, you're like, oh, I know who that's gonna be.
Slade Wilson?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, Deathstroke the Terminator.
Exactly. Wait until you see him, because it's gonna be disappointing. So, but we see, Starfire as a baby being taken away by lab scientists, and then that morphs into the eye of Raven, who has been changed in the continuity of Earth 1 to be a Native American girl.
Okay.
She's a teenager, she's Native American, she lives on a reservation, and she has visions. And she's just suddenly starting to have visions of Starfire.
Oh, thank
And her
God.
origin.
When you said she's a Native American, she's on a reservation, and the first image I see is her running up and heaving in the bathroom. She was like, oh, they're already doing an alcoholic thing?
Yeah, she
God.
wakes up drunk, and she's eating peyote and whatnot. No.
Apparently, no, that was from the vision.
It's just
visions
so...
come from. She
Yeah.
just-
Exactly.
Going on a vision quest.
And if Grant Moore's written it, maybe.
Yeah.
So she wakes up, she goes outside, she meets up with her grandpa, and her grandpa's like, what's up? It looks like you have the face of someone who had a very, very strong dream. And she's like, I had this crazy vision.
You also have the breath of someone who had a very strong dream.
Yeah, so strong that it made you regurgitate what we had for dinner. But she's like, yeah, I'm having visions. And he's like, oh, that's great, because I used to have visions, and they stopped when you came around. Which means that you inherited my visions.
You got my visions.
So thanks for that.
Exactly.
Woo, now you gotta have a baby.
If you don't want them
If you don't
anymore,
want those
you gotta
visions
get
no
pregnant.
more, you gotta keep the line going. And it skips a generation. So he's basically imparting on her, like, you're special and you have these abilities and whatnot and like blah blah. Like, you're important. He doesn't even talk about, like, he doesn't give her the fucking superhero speech about, like, you have powers and stuff. He's more like, you have visions. I had visions. She's like, I don't believe in that. He's like, fair enough, but they're gonna keep coming, and eventually you're gonna be asking me for help.
It's gonna happen whether you believe in it or not.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And he's like, you're destined for great things, and you're not going to be in this book very long. So we then go to where most of the story takes place, which is Monument, Oregon, which is a real town, as it turns out.
Oh.
But our first character that we meet outside of the reservation is Tara, who is the Earth 1 equivalent for Terra, who is the...
Yeah, the terrible chick from Judas Contract.
Yeah, the teenage bride of Slade Wilson and Judas of the Judas Contract.
Okay.
So you're already like, oh no, it's Terra!
That's not where I got from that, but okay.
Yeah, but she has earthquake powers. And but throw all your preconceived notions about that out the window, because Tara's an interesting character. But she wakes up and she's having like coffee, and her mom gets up, and her mom is, number one, she looks nothing like her. Mm-hmm. She's a brunette. And number two, she acts more like a teenage daughter, like the mom does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, Tara's like, hey, Mom, you're home late. And she's like, whatever. My job at the restaurant gave me the late shift. She goes, then why do you still smell like alcohol? And she's like, whatever, I want to unwind. And like, oh, Tara's mom is an alcoholic.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere,
Yeah,
am I right?
exactly. And you're just like, ugh. And Tara brings up her dad, who's no longer here. He like bailed, supposedly because, the mom is such a fucking girl child and can't get her shit together.
Being assholes.
Oh, it's all right.
Ben's crying already. Jeez, nothing's even happened.
It was the dad. I'm sorry. He left there.
Mother and daughter had this like really uncomfortable and kind of realistic conversation about how like mom is an alcoholic and the daughter is just trying to go to school, and she expresses her dissatisfaction with her home life in different ways, but in the most apparent way is by ditching school. So she's like, I'm going to school, and mom's like, make sure you go to school today because last year the principal called me like every day, and it was just so obnoxious.
Oh, I should go to school like you should go to work, not drunk?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the mom's motivations for wanting her daughter to go to school are like, I don't want
Personal.
I don't want to be annoyed.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. Like
petty shit.
even when you're trying to be responsible, you wind up being an asshole.
You're responsible by accident.
Yes, they make her they make her a very realistic and believable.
Wear a
badass.
seatbelt because the last time you got blood all over the car.
So then we transition to Garth, aka Changeling or Beast Boy. Right now he's not Changeling or Beast Boy, he's just a boy who has been advanced 2 grades to be matched up with the rest of the Teen Titans. But he's the youngest. Because he's been advanced, he's now in high school and it's his first day, and he's like, I'm kind of nervous. And his dad, one of 2 dads, is like, it's gonna be fine. Like, you just be yourself and cheer up, bucko, it's gonna be fine. And it's kind of sweet. Like, this is the most nuclear family we see, is the gay couple with the super advanced intelligent child.
And they have a sweet car.
And they have a rad car because they love cool cars. It's like, I
It's
can't
like an old
blame them.
Cadillac or something.
Yeah. And then we meet Victor, who's of course gonna be Cyborg. and he is dating Tara.
Okay.
Which is already a big switch from the Teen Titans, where Changeling was actually really into Tara.
Right.
And you're like, oh.
And they all go to the same school?
And they all go to the same school.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Victor and Tara start just making out shamelessly before school starts.
Well, they're teenagers, yeah.
Exactly. You know, like I would. And so the Vic's mom shows up, who is I think she's the principal of the school.
Oh, shit.
And that's the joke, is that, you know, I don't want to hear from that principal of yours. And it's like, who's also Victor's mom. And she is, like, rigid and harsh and, like, by the book. And she's just like, Victor, you gotta get this, like, come on, let's go. Like, get your mouth off that floozy.
Are you telling me that his mom is kind of a robot?
A little bit. But she is not a robot. That's not the twist. There is no twist. She's just a jerk. We meet, like, most of the Teen Titans, and then we meet Jericho, who is just a new student who was from, like, a private group and worked directly with Victor's mom.
Okay.
Over the summer.
Okay.
And now is brought into, like, this public school system.
I find it funny that Jericho is being brought in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And Jericho in the Judas Contract / original continuity was Slade Wilson's son. And he still is in this continuity.
Okay.
So we meet everybody, and, you know, they're teenagers. They give Garth a hard time. Garth is trying to, like, be himself, and they're making fun of him for it, because that's what teenagers are. Jericho is very quiet, and, of course, in his original continuity, he's a mute, because Deathstroke cut his throat by accident. They're not the team yet, they're just a bunch of teenagers, and they're hanging out, and they're having a good time. Well, some of them are. Most of them are having a miserable time, because they're teenagers in high school.
Yeah.
And so Victor's having a problem where, like, his stomach is itching. Tara makes, like, an off-color joke about crabs, and he's
like, you realize that if you were making a joke about crabs...
then you got a problem too, honey. Yeah. So he runs to the bathroom to go check it out, and his mom is, like, fawning over Jericho, because he's, like, the smart one who he worked directly with her, and, you know, it's like, no one is getting what they want. You know what I mean? Like, Victor would love to have, like, the love and approval of his mother, but he's not nearly, like, as smart, and his mother is, like, more interested in this other kid, and but she is still really, like, interested in pushing him towards, like, reaching his potential. So, you know, she's just one of those kind of parents.
Okay.
So Vic runs into the bathroom, he lifts up his shirt, and he sees that, like, he's getting, like, pixels. Silver pixels on his, like, body.
He's turning into a robot?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he dips his fingers, like, into it, gets, like, goopy, like, liquid metal on him.
Yeah.
And but then when he touches it, he gets a flash of Starfire speaking an alien language.
Oh.
And that's, like, the plot device in the story, which apparently was a thing from, like, Gen 13, which is that they're all psychically linked.
Well, she says some alien stuff, but she also says help.
She does. Yeah, as they become more mind-linked, Starfire's language becomes more English-ified.
Oh, man. Does she still speak only alien, but they understand her?
I don't know.
Because if the rest of the world did not understand her, that'd be cool.
I think, yeah, you know, they've done that before. I don't know if they really do that in this.
All right.
But they do. Because she's been trapped by a government organization in a lab in America for 16 years. So she is going to pick up a couple of words. But she basically, the full sentence she forms is "Help me, like, M Starfire." Like, that's my name. You know, so, like, and they all get, like, psychic flashes of this girl, this alien girl somewhere. And in fact, like, Beast Boy gets the same vision, and as it turns out, like, they all get the same vision. And it's like, oh, why are they all so connected?
Yeah,
what's the connection? Yeah.
Apparently Beast Boy also sees Vic's metal skin.
He does,
Yeah.
and Vic's like, don't tell anybody, and Beast Boy's like, all right, dude, I'm not, like, looking to make
I
enemies
mean,
here.
you might want to tell a doctor.
Right, like, you know, telling
I
me
won't tell
being,
anyone, but, like...
me knowing is neither here nor there.
My question is, why are you covering yourself in tinfoil?
Yeah, or...
Usually it's a hat if
Right.
you're worried about the government.
It's like, where's he going? I gotcha. So Vic runs out, and actually Garth covers for him. Like, they're like, why are you running out of the bathroom with haste? And Garth is like, because I took a huge deuce, and it was horrible. And...
That's nice.
Yeah, and Victor's like, thanks, man. Like, that's really cool. And you're like, oh, Garth's a nice guy.
That's like, no, but I actually took a huge deuce.
He does come out of the stall. Arguably,
So
he
there
does
you
take
go.
a deuce.
Yeah.
So he's covering for himself and for Vic. So Jericho goes home, and he meets up with his dad, who is Slade Wilson, a.k.a. Deathstroke, and he's like a big, like, muscular, retired Slade Wilson character. and he lives on a cool boat.
It's Brock Sampson if he got
cool.
old.
Yeah, it looks like
Alright.
retired Brock Sampson. Slade is like, so Jericho, how was your first day of regular school that you insisted on going? And he's like, I expected it to be something special, but everybody's just kind of normal. Like, I kind of trumped up the idea of living like a normal person in my mind to be more impactful than it really turned out to be.
I will say, living on a boat my entire life, being on land really sucks because I
Yeah.
keep having sea legs and I
Nothing
lose
is
my balance
stable.
once in a while.
So Jericho's basically just like ragging on high school and talking about how like he's so above it.
Oh.
And Slade's like, it sounds a little elitist. You should probably like chill out a little bit. You're too young to be this much of a dick. And so Jericho leaves, and then we go back to Victor and Tara, and they are of course making out again. This time in a car.
Okay.
And she's looking to get his clothes off, and he's like, "Dad, don't do it," because he doesn't want her to know that he's turning into a robot.
Right.
So she's like, "You got to tell me, or else I'm going to assume that there's like you got some kind of STD from some other girl, because I'm like that kind of person." And so he lifts up his shirt, and he's got freaking robot shit going
To
on.
be fair, if anyone is like making out with you and starts
she
to
tries-
take off your clothes,
and
you're
you're
like,
like, "No,
no! It's like, all right, I
What's
know
going on?
right off the bat something is wrong.
something is up." Yeah.
This is not just like, no, I just want to keep my clothes on. It's
Yeah,
chilly
look,
in here.
we're moving a little too fast. He's like, so he shows her, and she's like, "That's freaking rad,"
What?
because like,
No, that's fucking terrifying.
yeah, she like goes to touch it, and like it like morphs around her hand, and then she gets a vision of Starfire,
Okay.
and she's like, "Dad!" And he's like, "Did you see the girl? Did you see the alien chick?" And she's like, "Ah!"
She's like, of course I saw her.
Yeah.
Who is she?
Yeah.
What has she made to you?
She
How do you
the
know
one who gave
her?
you crabs.
She gave you alien crabs, alien metal skin crabs.
So
What is this, alien dermatitis?
yeah, so she freaks out, and in doing so, manifests her earthquake powers.
Oh.
But she doesn't really know that, and she like caves in the ground a little bit. So he's like, "Whoa!"
Does
Then
he
we
realize that she did it, or is it
yeah.
just like
Oh,
that was
immediately.
random? Okay.
Oh no. Then we don't waste time
Right.
with that. Like, and then all of a sudden we're having an argument, and you bring down the house. What's going on with that? Was there some kind of connection? No, it's obviously you have powers. I have a goopy metal skin. You clearly have earthquake powers. That's how things
Okay,
work.
that's
Here's the
good.
thing. In terms of powers, apparently your powers are cooler.
Yeah.
Because all I have is goopy
Because
skin.
I turn into a monster and you get to like shake the earth. That's way cooler. So then we go home with Garth and we meet his two dads, and they're really sweet and nice and cool.
And their cat.
And their cat. And actually, when Garth goes near the cat, he winds up like morphing into the cat. Like he turns into a cat too. And he's like, "Wah!" That's his powers manifest. Meanwhile,
Oh, I thought this was a normal thing for him. Like, he knew his powers.
no.
Oh.
No, he's just a regular little boy who's adopted by these two guys, by the way, like which is why he's like a different ethnicity from the other guys. So Jericho bails on his dad, and he goes to the beach, and he's drawing. And when he was drawing in class, he was drawing Starfire. So now he's continuing his drawing of Starfire. So he's
okay.
obviously getting the visions, but we don't know what his power is.
Right.
Victor, meanwhile, goes to his mom, who's also like super smart, and she's in charge and stuff. And he's like, "Mom, we need to talk." And she's like, "Ugh, do you need money? Like, what do you want?" Because she knows her son's a loser. He's like, "No, I've got fucking liquid metal robot shit on my tummy." And she's like,
And for some reason, it's going into squares. It's not spreading out evenly.
Yeah.
"No, it's like, did. Yeah, it's
Like,
because
It's freaking digital.
the drawing of Cyborg, he's like not an
Right.
entire robot.
Right.
So we got to make it weird." So she says, "Finally,"
What?
and you're like, "Oh."
She knows.
What?
Not only does she know, she's clearly behind it. Like she's
Right.
like, "I helped make you into this monster." So
Jesus.
I mean, you're a monster. You're a wonderful project.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
my son,
no,
I
you're
love
not
you,
a
but like,
monster.
you're not terrible. is
exactly,
what I'm saying.
exactly.
But
So-
like, Jesus Christ, it took you long
now
enough.
that you're
Right.
turning into a machine, man, I can love you.
Well, like now you have value.
Now you're worth something.
Well,
Exactly.
not only that, but like, now I can actually control you a little bit.
That's maybe.
with this robot remote. So Tara comes home. Mom's still there. She's been drinking and smoking the entire day.
Uh-huh.
She's like, "God, that's like, what is your problem?"
Did you even go to work?
Yeah, and she didn't. And she's talking about how like Dad disappeared and left, and then Mom like gives her a good smack and says like,
Oh,
"I never
jeez.
loved you. I never wanted you." And she's like, and what's amazing is, we've seen that scene a million times where like a parent says something unforgivably terrible, like,
Yeah.
"I never wanted you. You were an accident," or "I never wanted to have you. I don't love you." And the daughter like having an awkward. Tara just stands there. She's like, "How can you possibly say something like that?" Like she immediately calls her on it. She's
Yeah.
like, "That is so fucked up. You got to take that back, or I'm never going to forgive you." And meanwhile, while she's saying that, like her earthquake powers are starting to manifest, and she starts like shaking the house. And so the mom is like, oh my God, like, you have powers. Like, I'm sorry, never mind. I do love you. And she's like, you're sorry for that? And she just brings down the house.
Oh, wow. Literally.
Yeah. While she's rocking the Casbah,
Ethan, ladies and gentlemen.
while she shakes the house down, Garth is getting a mental image of Tara destroying the house.
Oh.
So he's starting to realize, and because they're all psychically linked for some reason.
Okay.
And meanwhile, Vic and his mom are talking, and she's like, "Listen, like, this is wonderful news. I'll explain everything soon. We're working it out." And he's like, "I don't have any patience for that. Mm-hmm. Like, you turn me into a monster. You clearly are only interested in me as a science project. That's horseshit. I'm out of here." Meanwhile, Garth looks at the cat, who's like freaking out, and then he turns into a cat man. And so so then all their powers manifest around the same time, and they all get a shared vision of the team that worked with Slade Wilson and this research scientist finding the Starfire craft.
Okay.
And it's all their parents. Like, all their parents were part of the research team.
Okay.
Slade was like the security officer there.
Huh.
They all discover the little alien girl and her family. We see like Starfire being like wheeled in to a like facility somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
They all see like basically what Starfire wants them to see, which is like her kidnapping. And she says like, "Name Starfire, like I am Starfire, please help." And so they all manifest their powers. Meanwhile, Jericho doesn't do shit. Like, he has the same experience. He draws. Everyone else is like manifesting their cool powers.
He's really deep, Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
can we go back
like,
2 pages?
yeah.
That little winky skull face is amazing.
Yeah, that's Deathstroke's logo.
That's Deathstroke's logo?
Yeah.
That makes sense because you got the one eye, but like, holy crap, that's funny.
But in the comic, he does have 2 eyes, so I don't know why they. So it's a little wink for you.
Yeah.
For the audience. Jericho
So
draws Starfire, and then he says like, he's on the beach and he sees like the lighthouse illuminate, and he's like, like, I wonder if that's connected to what I'm seeing, because I'm not going anywhere. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is all like running away from where they are, and they all converge on the beach where Jericho is.
Ah.
I was just in the right place at the right time. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, does what the hell was I going to ask? Did they get their powers because their parents were in proximity to the crashed alien ship, and then they somehow passed it on genetically?
Well,
I'll tell you.
How would that work with Gar?
Right?
Well,
I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna get
we'll get that.
Sweet.
So all the kids converge. They all are like, "Whoa!" Like, these are all the people I
Why
don't.
did they go onto the beach?
Because Starfire brought them.
Oh, okay.
Of course. I'm a cat now.
I'm a cat man.
I'm a green cat.
I'm a big green cat.
Now.
Yeah. So it's Cyborg, Jericho, Changeling, and Terra, and that's the team right now. And of course, like, don't forget, like, there's also Starfire, who's like at the research facility,
And Raven.
who also got all this stuff.
Oh.
Like, she saw.
But
it
she's
as a
really
bit-
far away.
Yeah, she's in New Mexico, so she calls her grandpa and she's like, "Okay, so I know all these people. Like, all of a sudden, I like feel like I know them because like plot contrivances are allowing me to get all this information without having to go into their school."
I would love it if her grandfather was like, "Wait, what?
How do you know all of them? What?
No,
She's
that's
You've never met
no. You're
them,
just supposed to
though?
have weird visions.
You're not supposed to like know them all intimately and also like feel like you know you're friends with them. So you
Remember
have
when I
instant-
said you were going to rely on me and talk to me? This is too much.
Yeah, don't. So Grandpa takes her to a cave on the reservation where he used to go when he used to get the visions.
Okay.
And he shows her that he had this vision of all these different images that he drew in like a cave, and they're all drawn to the Raven. And he's like, I knew that I wasn't the one who's supposed to be getting the visions, it was you that was supposed to be getting them, and that they're all going to be connected through you.
Interesting.
And so we're seeing like Bender from Futurama. Just basically just Cyborg.
Yeah,
we're
but
seeing,
I love that image.
Yeah, we're seeing all these images of things that we will get or might get in the future. We're seeing basically an homage to the Titans. We see a lightning bolt which references Kid Flash, even though there's no Flash at all in the Earth 1 universe.
And we see Batman, which would be a Robin.
Which would be a Robin. We see a fish, and we're like, there's no Aquaman or Aqualad. What's going on here?
Yeah.
We see a taco.
We see a taco. I
That's
think that's
the
a
mountain.
rock for Terra.
Quake.
And so forth. It's Terra.
It's Terra? Oh, right.
Terra.
Quake is
Quake is the
another-
Marvel.
Sorry.
But he points to the Raven, he's like, that one's you. And she's like, oh, cool. And he says, like, they're going to need you soon. Don't worry, she almost does nothing in this book.
She has a very intricate outfit.
Yeah, she has. You mean she has her superhero outfit already?
Already.
Yeah.
Like
So
she was
then-
wearing that since she was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because
Well,
she
no,
on
that-
a reservation, they wear.
No, when
strange
she wakes up,
elaborate
when she wakes up earlier in the story, she like has regular clothes and stuff. But she knew that when she had all these images and stuff like that in her head and all these visions and stuff, that like she had to put on her cool superhero costume. So all the parents meet up with Dr. Stone, Victor's mom,
Yeah.
and they're all like, "Okay, so like I didn't sign up for having my roof caved in on my head or anything. Like what the hell?" And one of Garth's dads is like, you know, I don't want my son. I love my son, and I'm not going to give him up to anything.
Right.
And so Dr. Stone's like, right on, and then she just shoots him in the face with a gun.
Holy shit!
And Slade's like, that is so fucked up. Like you are like I'm gonna kick your ass. And she's like, no, you're not. Like you are gonna fall in line. You're gonna like come out of retirement. You're gonna put on your cool Deathstroke costume, and you're gonna help round up those kids and bring them to the facility so we can get this shit moving. Because as it turns out, none of them are their children.
Okay.
These were all scientists who worked on the project with Starfire. They took DNA samples, and in some cases, like with Victor's case, they found that like their ship was itself like kind of like a living metal, and so they basically just wound up just stealing or adopting children from like places that children wouldn't have flourished or done well,
okay.
and then
Right.
assigned each child to one of the research scientists and bonded their genetic structure with some element from the
wow.
parents and from the craft that they use.
So they're all
Damn.
terrible people.
Yes.
Okay.
But some of them like grew to. That's why Tara's mom is such a bitch,
Right.
Because she's like, I don't like. And by the way, she was so like bad at most of her jobs that her job was literally just babysitting. Like she just, you stay here and you want. And like the dad that was assigned to the job, he couldn't keep his mouth shut, so he was assassinated.
Oh wow.
And so like they're just trying to keep the whole like the whole thing together.
Yeah.
So they're all talking about like their powers, and they have their traditional teenagers or like their traditional X-Men scene where they're all like, I have powers, I'm a freak. Like no, I got rad powers. Well, I'm turning into a fucking robot, so that's not really rad for me. Like, and then Deathstroke the Terminator shows up in
Oh my god!
Wow.
in the worst costume
That is
I have ever
really
seen.
Terrible.
That is bad.
Like you have Deathstroke's costume ready to go, and you drew
No,
this.
this is
in-
No.
Deathstroke Earth 1 costume.
Yeah, so he looks like a goddamn.
I'm a future cop.
He
Yeah.
looks like a custom skin in a Halo multiplayer match.
Yep. That's terrible.
And he's like, "All right, kids, I've been assigned to round you guys up," and so they all like fight him.
Okay.
I got sweet samurai swords.
Yeah, and so they're fighting, and he's trying to explain to them like, you know, I'm not here to kick your ass. Like I'm here to like bring you to the program, and
I'm not here to kick your ass,
but I will.
But I can.
And yes, and have no
And I'm
problem
going
doing
to.
it.
And
So
I'm going to like it.
yes, exactly. Well, no, he seems pretty torn up about it. Like he's a decent dude.
Okay.
But he also is a dick because he's following orders from these monsters and participated in their program for the last 16 years.
Right.
But he's like, you know, Victor is displaying increased strength as well as a result of his robotness.
Sure.
Right.
And so Slade activates like a button on his outfit, which causes the like metal in Victor's body to go haywire.
Okay.
And so that
So how he has that?
how he has that? Well, because
That's part of the ship technology.
it's part of the ship technology.
Oh.
Right.
Hand wavy bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
So they, you know, of course, because Dr. Stone like murdered a man in a like school parking lot, they had to like cart his body back to the project place where they're going to dispose of it later. So they put him on a gurney.
Yeah. Holy crap. There's a little bullet hole in his head.
Yeah.
And this
And-
guy is wearing a Pac-Man.
Yeah. It's the logo design in this is a little off.
Yeah.
But so they're getting these readings from Starfire that like she has been like broadcasting all these psychic things and stuff.
So there.
And they're freaking out, and the guy in charge of the entire program is basically like, okay, it's not working, you're gonna have to pull the plug. She's plugged into this like big incubator machine anyway. I'm just gonna flood her with chemicals and kill her because like I don't want to get caught, and if you can't get a lid on her like power activation and her manipulation of our like child program, because she's manipulating the kids and
Right,
making
this
them
could get out of control.
Yeah.
this could get out of control real fast. Just like we're gonna kill her.
Okay.
And Dr. Stone is like, no, I've worked too hard on this. Like she is the key to everything that I've been working on for the last like almost 2
Key to all
decades.
of this.
And so I'm not going to just let you kill her. And they're like,
I literally
"Listen."
just murdered a man in a parking lot because he wasn't on board.
Exactly. There's no way I'm going to let you just like table our entire like program. And So
we have to get Starfire working. She's a funnier character than ever had.
It's not funny at all. Doesn't work every time. So Slade fights everybody. Meanwhile, Raven is starting to freak out because everything's coming to a head, and like her grandpa is like, you know, I know that like you're destined to help, and so she activates her Raven powers. And so while
what does that mean?
What does that mean? It means that she can be in the book for a few minutes while Slade is fighting the Teen Titans. Then Raven appears.
Oh.
As a vision.
As a
with
vision.
a bird outline around her. That's
yeah.
cool. And
she just, like, shoots her Raven powers through Slade's head and then leaves, never to be seen again for the rest of this book.
What does that mean?
It just, she defeats him. She doesn't kill him. She just, like, incapacitates him.
Okay.
But she's like, blah! And they're all like, what the shit just happened? So a Native American bird just showed up and kicked this guy's ass. Yeah. And then left.
Now I have to go.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
So she does.
Behold unto me, for I am the word of the Lord.
Yeah, and they're like, bah, and they're like,
thanks.
Did that just happen?
Or was that like a fever dream?
Also, why is there now a button on Victor's head?
Oh, because he's
getting more and
getting more and more like a robot. Yeah,
it's happening real fast.
That sucks.
Doesn't that suck? It looks awful. So they all get this idea in their heads that they should check out the lighthouse, because they were all brought to here, to the central location. The only building nearby is a lighthouse. They're getting
it's flashing sporadically for some reason.
Right? Like a lighthouse would never do.
Like, for some reason, something was being kept in there that was emitting light.
Yeah. So they all are like, we're gonna go, and Tara's like, no, we should just bail. Like, I got cool earthquake powers. We'll just leave. I never wanted to live with my mom. Well, like, just, live off the land. I don't know.
I don't know, I'll make earthquakes and somehow that'll make us rich.
Like, I don't know, I'm a teenager, I don't fucking know what's going on.
Exactly, I just want to bail, I just want to leave. All I want to do is, like, smoke and have sex. Like, I haven't thought it through, obviously.
Right.
So Victor basically convinces her to stay, because he's like, I need you for this. Like, I can't do this without you.
She's like, look, we have to have sex, though.
Because otherwise, you're going to become a robot.
It will be earth-shaking.
Aw.
Come on.
Yeah, alright, that's fair.
How is that not a thing?
Right? I don't know. So she agrees to go because, like, she loves Victor.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, that's nice. So, then Raven wakes back up and she's like, hey, Grandpa, I did it. I did a thing in this book. And he's like, good for you.
Yay, I fulfilled
As
my
if he
destiny.
didn't believe her.
Yeah.
It's
Except
like, no,
he totally
just
did.
here.
Yeah. So they're going to activate the self-destruct on Starfire in the next hour. And Dr. Stone is like, no, I got to put this all together.
Right.
The Teen Titans go to the facility.
How do they find it?
Oh, they go to the lighthouse. They just find like a... Oh, no, it's literally at the lighthouse.
It's at the lighthouse, okay.
Yeah, and they like break a big secret door and they go through there because Victor's got super strength. He rips the door off. They go down the stairs. The echoes of Starfire's mental like assault are getting louder, which means they're on the right track.
Okay.
They wind up in like an incubation area and they find their old like testing bassinets, which has all of their code names on them.
Oh wow.
Like Terra and Cyborg and Changeling. Yeah, like they're all and they're like, oh really? Like, god damn it! Like, I love this book is full of like fun stuff and like realistic things, but also like goofy bullshit. Mm-hmm. At one point or another, like they find some like lab rats, and one of them is green, like Garth became, and so he like sees the rat and he morphs into it and he's like, oh cool, like I think I'm actually able to use this power. I don't just become a cat. Like, good for me. I'm
not just Beast.
I am still green though. So I guess that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
he's like, where'd the green come from? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not really
I was eating
clear.
broccoli when I saw the cat. So maybe it's asparagus.
Yeah. So while the kids are exploring the area, they also find like a teenage fish boy who's going to be their Aqua Lad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got turtles and shit swimming around with him for some reason.
Yeah, I guess
They're like his friends.
No,
to illustrate,
he's gonna
like,
eat them.
Yeah, maybe
That's
he
his
eats them.
food.
I was going to say, like, it's a way to show...
If you lived in the ocean, you're gonna eat fish.
Or turtles.
It's how it works.
Yeah.
It's sea life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they discover the Aqua Lad, more or less.
Okay.
And
Oh my god, Garth
then-
is really a rat now.
They find
Yeah.
Aqualad, and he's in the book.
I know,
for a
he's in the
second.
book, too, for a second. That's a weird motif in this book. It's like, Starfire, Raven, and Aqua Lad are in this book for a second.
And then Aqualad looks at the screen. He's like, "Next time, baby."
No, at the end of the book, he just opens his eyes.
Yeah, they...
Oh my god.
No. That would be cooler than what they did with him. So they're all like, "Oh, what's happening?" And then of course the doors open and Dr. Stone's there, and she's like, "Bravo!
You made your way back."
Yeah, and she's like,
now
"Well,
you're
like,
mine.
I need you guys to help me out because they're gonna kill Starfire and it's really important and blah blah blah."
Right.
And they're like, "Fuck you."
Well,
And so,
but they want to save Starfire, right?
yeah,
But they don't want to help her.
no,
Right.
And then Changeling sees one of his dads is dead on a gurney with a hole in his head. And she's like, "Oh, Jesus, I thought you guys were going to get rid of him. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, I have no good help in this lab." And then,
You know how hard it is to find good help these days.
so Changeling,
She might as well
as
say.
a rat, like, slashes her face, and it just freaks out.
Yeah.
He's like, he seemed like the most pacifistic, but, like, seeing his dead dad, he
Oh,
loses
yeah.
it.
He gets animalistic then.
And as they're attacking her, like, Victor's the one who, like, winds up grabbing his mom, and he's like, "So we're not even related. Like,
Yeah.
this is horseshit."
So I don't even really have to feel bad about fucking
No!
killing
So he's,
you.
like, choking around, and then,
Here's the thing: you may not be my mom, but she's still the person that raised
yes,
him.
but she's also, like, a total bitch.
She does suck. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, and that's the funny thing is that, like, he's also a teenager, so he's able to, like, divorce himself from the real ramifications of murdering the person that, like, raised you.
Right.
He's just like, I'm in the moment, and right in the moment you're a dick, so I'm just gonna kick your ass.
Also,
And
I've
then-
been a robot man for like the past half day.
and it sucks.
I'm not
And
happy about this.
And it's your fault. I can totally make myself kill you. So then, as she's being choked to death, she says, like, "Jericho, it's time." And then he reveals that he is the Judas in the Judas contract, that this is not.
Oh.
But he says, "Contact," and then he just jumps into Victor, and his power is that he can jump into people and manipulate their bodies.
Oh, shit.
And he's been training with Dr. Stone the entire time, and he knows all about their powers and how to use them. And so he jumps into the cyborg, and he's kicking everyone's ass. And then he sees Changeling, he's like, "Oh, right," jumps into Changeling, becomes a big gorilla man, punches out Cyborg, and starts, like, just mopping the floor with these guys.
Right.
And then Deathstroke shows up, and he's like, "That's enough. Like,
God damn it, boy!
I've got to learn you a lesson." So he is, and after having his ass kicked by a bunch of people and a magic bird creature, he turns things around. He's like, "I don't want this anymore. Like, I'm not cotton to this plan anymore."
Okay.
And so he's gonna kill Dr. Stone. So he, like, grabs her, and he unleashes, like, a Swiss Army knife out of his stupid Swiss Army arm.
Oh.
And he's gonna kill her, and then she activates the button on his suit that makes Victor go haywire.
Okay.
So he does, and then and also the reason why Jericho won't jump into him is because he's got the armor on, and the armor is activated so that it can block his powers.
Oh.
Right.
So when Dr. Stone pushes the, like, Victor goes crazy button, it also, like, powers down his armor or distracts him enough so that Jericho can jump into him.
Yeah.
So Jericho jumps into Deathstroke and then takes his, like, knife and starts, like, pulling it towards his eye.
Oh my god.
And we all know Deathstroke is missing an
And
eye.
so what's gonna happen? And then he tries to pull it out, and as he's pulling it out, Jericho jumps out of his body, and then Deathstroke pulls the knife away, accidentally slashing Jericho in the throat. So we get two for the price of one. We got two references. We're going to have him stab him in the eye. Nope, switcheroo. We're going to slash Jericho in the throat, thereby making him into a mute, like in Judas Contract. But then it turns out if you get slashed in the throat, you just die. So instead of becoming a mute, he's just going to die.
What?
So
Well, it's kind of like it.
so it's kind of
but
like
totally
it, but totally different. And then Deathstroke is like, "Oh no! Like, jump into me and I'll save you." So he does. So, like, his like essence or whatever jumps into Deathstroke, thereby not dying, and now Deathstroke is stuck with Jericho inside of him, and then the two of them, like, run away.
That's weird.
Why does... I'm a little confused. Why does he get... Why does he leave Jericho in the first place? He's about to, like, cut his own eye.
Jericho's within him. Oh, why does he
Deathstroke,
jump
yeah.
out?
Or
So
why
that
does
that can happen.
Because Deathstroke says, "Get out," so I guess it's like he's struggling.
Yes.
Like
He's trying to, like, mentally
able to
push him
resist
out.
him
Yeah.
in some way.
But he's
even though
also
nobody else
aware of
was.
his powers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if Jericho has a body, when he goes incorporeal, like that's him being incorporeal. It's not like he has a mind essence.
No, it's not like he goes astral and then, like, yeah, no, his body becomes like a spirit, more or less.
So would his body die inside?
I don't know.
Deathstroke?
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Because, like,
But they
they're
do-
still bleeding.
Yeah, but they do explain it in... Well, they don't explain it, but they do tell you what happens to the two of them in Volume 2.
Okay.
Because there's a Volume 2 of Teen Titans Earth 1, and not a Green Lantern Earth 1, or an Aquaman of Earth 1. And before that, there was...
We already have an Aqua Lad. I think we're good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so the Wilsons leave,
Okay.
and everything's gonna fall apart, and so... You know, Dr. Stone's like, you gotta stop the countdown. You gotta stop, like, Starfire
Right,
from being
yeah,
killed.
save Starfire.
And Victor's like, I will save her, but not because of you.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And then he breaks her fucking hand.
yeah, he does break her hand, so she
awesome.
can't, like, activate anything.
All right.
They reveal Starfire, who's
Yeah.
hooked up on all these machines, and they break.
She was not in the top of the lighthouse, which is where I thought she was going
No,
to be.
no, they're
I
in
thought
the
she was going to be
basement.
hidden in plain sight.
That'd be
Lighthouse
cool.
was just like a symbol. It
Yes.
wasn't an actual...
Yeah, of like illumination.
Yeah.
So they break down the door. They save Starfire. They get her out, and then she says, and then Starfire goes, "Stone bad," and then melts her.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And you're like,
Well, I guess you don't have to worry about that broken wrist anymore.
yeah. So then she is just wrecked.
Yes.
And then they say, like, we're here. We came to help you. And she goes, not you. And they go, what? And then she leaves. And she leaves them there.
Oh, wow.
Changeling's like, did she just ditch us?
Yeah. Did
And-
we just save a bad guy?
Yeah,
What are
so
we
they're
doing?
like, what the crap? She's the whole reason we came here. She's the thing that linked us all together. We rescued her. She killed your mom. And then she just bails. What the crap is that? So then they go to the fish tank and they rescue Aqualad and they leave with him.
Okay.
Really?
But before they do, Tara's mom comes back and she's
Yeah.
like, I feel bad now. And I've got this special Aqualad can like live outside of water suit. You should put him in it and bail.
Okay.
And so they do. And they take Aqualad and they leave.
They run into the woods.
Yeah. And then we see Raven again for the last time. Raven says to her grandpa like she's going out, and it's like, oh, she's going on like a quest. Like she's leaving.
Yeah.
She's not coming back.
Right.
And she goes to the cave where she had her visions, and there is Starfire.
Ah.
And Starfire was actually looking for Raven.
Right. Because she's the key to all of this.
Yes. Because they're both the key to all of
Because
this.
they're both the key to all of this.
So they're indicating like, oh shit,
Oh, it's Starfire and Raven.
Starfire and Raven,
That-
and these poor assholes who are stuck with their like
Who don't matter.
who don't matter and have powers that half of them can't go outside. And so they explore those themes in Volume 2. But
Actually, Beast Boy has to go outside. I'm sorry, Changeling has to go outside.
yeah, he does have to go outside because I'm not cleaning up all that animal dung. But yeah, it's
Okay.
Teen Titans Earth 1.
Yeah.
That's a weird book.
It's very weird. It's weird and it's like fun, but it's also short and simple. There's
I
no,
like that it's short. And this
I
is,
like that it doesn't take a long time to deal with.
and this is the thing, not because like
Because it
not
was
because
dumb
it's
and it
bad,
was over.
but because
yeah.
like you got to the point.
Yes. Yeah. Lemire does not fuck around. You know, and when he's like this,
Yeah.
when he's like this scene ended, like this scene is over, he just ends the scene.
Right.
When these characters are like having a terminal moment in a conversation, he ends the conversation.
Yep.
Like I could tell a story about each one of these characters.
Oh, yeah.
Finding their own way.
You could literally
But-
have done 5 books
But
about
if
each
I wanted,
character.
if I wanted to do that, this would be like a 6-volume book.
Yeah, and
I need to get it done.
And I don't think they're going to sell that, so just put them all in one thing and just tell you the basics.
Yep.
Give them the bare essentials of these characters.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fun manipulations of the status quo or of your expectations.
Expectations, yeah.
You know, Deathstroke is not an asshole. He doesn't lose his eye, but he does cut Jericho's throat. But Jericho becomes like part of Deathstroke. Terra isn't the turncoat.
I thought
Right.
he was going to slash Dr. Stone
Oh,
with the knife.
that would have been cool.
I thought that's
Yeah.
how she was going to die.
Right. No, it looks like she's going to get away with it. And then Starfire's like, hey, I'm back. And you're like, that's rad. So
It's
yeah.
also a fantastic display of her powers where she melts her and like you just see the skeleton inside.
Yeah, just and then you're like, whoa, hey
Yep.
guys, mental note, let's never fuck with Starfire.
Hey, do you
Yeah.
remember
Don't
all
fuck
those
around.
scenes in Mars Attacks? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
And
Yikes.
the other guy's like, no, I need to see Mars Attacks. Changeling's like, come on, it's great.
a good
Jack Nicholson plays 2
movie.
characters in that movie. Anyway,
The movie's practically black and white, man.
Teen Titans Earth 1 Volume 1 is weird. And what's funny is the Terry and Rachel Dodson art is very cartoony.
Yeah.
And I don't think services the story very well. I think it's great looking. I think it's solid Dodson art.
Yeah.
There's no weird missteps or like odd decisions, with the notable exception of Deathstroke's horrible armor or Cyborg's dumbass abort button on his forehead.
Yeah.
But outside of those things, everybody looks really cool and it's all consistent. It works within the world that they drew and created.
Yeah.
It's just that like it doesn't totally match the theme. Like you're expecting to see like a fun teenage romp.
Yeah.
Like maybe we will go a little dark. Oh look, like 16-year-olds might have sex in a car. But then it's like, no, we won't go there. We will have like murder and death and child like abuse.
Yeah.
You know.
And a betrayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a dude gets shot in the forehead, and then they have his body like in scenes with like a little hole in his head, and you're like, ugh.
And his son sees him.
Yeah.
And freaks out and goes into a murderous rampage.
Yeah, I don't know if like
Doo-doo.
yeah, I don't know if Flintstones-esque art really worked, but it is solid and it looks really great. I wonder what it might have been. But that said, it works. Volume 2, the Dodsons are not involved, and it's a lot grittier, which is like, I don't know if the story's a lot grittier, but like the art is grittier and matches the tone, I think, a little better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But otherwise, I recommend it. I think it's a fun story. If you're trying to fit it with everything else, you know, like, oh, where does this fit in with my Wonder Woman of Earth 1?
It doesn't.
It don't. It is the one thing everyone points to being like, there's no goddamn way Earth 1 is on the same planet.
I don't get it.
Why would they need to mention any Superman
Well, they
or
don't.
Wonder Woman?
But like, I really would hate to see Gary Frank draw Deathstroke's dumbass Halo armor in a Batman Earth 1 book.
Well, that's why he's like, no, I'm done with this armor now.
Yeah,
because
the
somehow
He doesn't.
it limits my son's ability.
No, the two of them go on missions together. It's horrible. So, pick it up if you want. It's in the description box below this video. You can grab it there, and we'll see you guys next week with an all-new episode. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
So long.